Hello, how's it going? Welcome back to some more F1 25 and another part of our Toyota My Team career mode. Today we are back with the second race of the season at Bahrain. It was a tricky first race, of course. With Nico Hülkenberg, we were doing pretty well until later on in the Grand Prix. It was obviously a wet race, so very, very difficult to manage that. But we did well overall. Looking forward to seeing how we get on today around Bahrain. Always a tricky circuit, so looking forward to seeing if we can get our first points of the season. We should do. But hopefully you guys are good. Leave a like if you're enjoying and all of that good stuff. And without further ado, let's get ourselves into qualifying.
Well, as the sun goes down, the speeds go up. It's almost time to get underway for this shootout for the fastest time and the best possible grid position for tomorrow's race. Let's get on with it. It's qualifying for the Bahrain Grand Prix.
Here we go then, up to the line for our first hot lap around here in Bahrain. So 128.2 puts us in between the two McLarens. We're going to get out of the way of Oscar Piastri as we head towards turn one there, but he's been held up by Charles Leclerc there. Held up a treat, really.
Understood. Stopping this lap.
But yeah, not our best there. Well, the yellow flag came out just as George Russell was coming round, so I'm hoping he's backed out of that time or wasn't even on a time there. But yeah, not the best. We'll probably have to go out there again, I would imagine. We decided not to go out again, and I think that's absolutely fine. 10th and 7th for the Toyotas there. Lando Norris looking in a bit of a league of his own with Hamilton and Piastri there. So yeah, very, very interesting. Maybe top 7 is our target today then. It's, like a load of rubbish, to be honest. Antonelli was right on the racing line. We had to go to the outside there. And he got our lap time deleted there. So I'm trying to let him through so that he's nowhere near our next lap, but he is just, yeah, I don't know what he's doing, but not what he should be, and that has compromised our next lap, absolutely. So this might not work out for us, but we'll stay on board. Let's see what we can pull off here. We're not going to have as much energy to use on this lap, and you can see already losing a hell of a lot of time here through that first sector. Yeah, wide into turn one. This isn't good. Remember, we need to improve on our time from Q1. Yeah, already losing a load of time just because we're not able to use the energy that we were using before. But also we need to get a bank of time in there.
Okay,
just the traction through there, not fantastic. Using a little bit of the RS here. It's around here that we started to let Kimi Antonelli through, but here we go then. Through this middle sector, where is it going to put us? Quite a lot faster than Zane Maloney still. That's why it's important to get these banker laps in. So we did a 28.3 in the last session. Using the rest of our ERS as we head up to the line to 28.1. So it is an improvement on what we did in Q1. Shows that maybe we've got another sort of at least half a second in there. That wasn't a great lap, to be honest with you, but it might just be enough to get through to Q3. but right on the bubble. And to be fair, our teammate George Russell, he's outside of there at the moment. I don't think we can risk it on that. So we are going to have to use a second set of soft tyres to try and get through. We come round the final corner then. Really important that we head up to the line and get a good time in there. Looks very good. And we head up to the line. That is going to be us through into Q3 and up into 5th place. Very good time there at the end of the session. Did George Russell manage to do it as well? That's the big question. He was out there on a hot lap. Did he manage to get through? No, he's out. Only P12 for George Russell, so that's a big disappointment for us, for him to be out of qualifying this early. Wow, but yeah, I mean, look at that. Lando Norris at 26-1. Mercedes are just in another league, it would seem, at the moment. But Gasly keeping them honest. But yeah, I don't think we can get anywhere near that sort of pace. Well, first lap in Q3 then on the scrub tyres. Head up to the line to 127.6. It's not brilliant. Completely flat battery, and look at that, Oscar Piastri into the 25s now. So we are a long way off. We've obviously got one more set of fresh boots to put on, but goodness me, Piastri's pulled out a great time there. Verstappen in the game as well, 126.0. Gasly repeating his heroics of a 126.3. Lando Norris needs to find something on his second lap. I can only assume he's done that on used tyres. But boy, oh boy, I mean, anything higher than 10th would be a miracle, you feel, for us. But Carlos Sainz even at 27.3. I mean, that's a great time for the Williams. So, I mean, maybe we can still qualify 7th. I think 8th or 9th is possibly more realistic, because Button has surely got more to show. Hamilton has surely got more to show. But I guess we'll find out when it comes down to it. Well, this has been by far our best lap of the weekend. Ultimate pace, it's a 126.9. And that gets us P8, and that is about as good as we could expect, I think, around here. 26.9. We're just not in the same league as the other teams, but wow.
But don't worry, we'll be back tomorrow as we head into the Grand Prix.
I mean, a pretty impressive performance in the end. Very close to out-qualifying the likes of Antonelli and Hamilton. But Max Verstappen snatches pole from his teammate, and Red Bull come out of nowhere to put in 125.9s to beat Lando Norris to pole position. Wow. Pierre Gasly qualifies 4th ahead of Charles Leclerc in 5th, but he does have a 5-place penalty. Not entirely sure what that is for. We can maybe have a little look on the director. Will it tell us there? Illegal blocking. Okay, so he has been demoted for impeding, which is very interesting. I'm not sure I've really seen that too much. So we will start 7th in the race tomorrow. Whether we've got the same sort of pace as the guys ahead of us, I don't know. You know, we had to really rinse everything out of the car. But once again, qualifying in the top 10 points is the objective.
It started as a day race, now it runs at night. Welcome to the Bahrain International Circuit, and welcome to the Bahrain Grand Prix. We go racing today around the 3.36 miles of the magnificent Bahrain International Circuit, with 15 corners and 2 good passing opportunities into turns 1 and 4. Keep an eye out for drivers locking the front left tyre into the tricky braking zone of turn 10. Before we begin, let's take a quick look at the grid lineup for today's race. World champion Max Verstappen starts from pole position, and Oscar Piastri completes the front row. Looking down the rest of the grid, we have Norris, Gasly, Andrea Kimi Antonelli, and Hamilton, Hülkenberg, Sainz, Button, and Charles Leclerc, Hadjar, Russell, Alex Albon, and Maloney, Bortoletto, Behrman, Liam Lawson, and Paul Aaron, Fernando Alonso, Doohan, Martins. And Esteban Ocon lines up at the back of the grid. And now it's time to head down to the track. And alongside me in the commentary box, my old friend, Anthony Davidson. So we're getting close to the start of the race. What will this driver be experiencing? Big nerves, big excitement, what?
Always extra nerves at the start of the race, Scruffy. It's probably at the start of the race, it's where your heart rate's at its highest in anticipation. And you've got to be in the right mindset. You've got to be thinking there inside the car, what can go right? How can I be opportunistic rather than what can go wrong? And how do I protect my position? Look forward and stay positive. It's easy to say, very hard to do when you're in that position.
Okay, here we are, down on the track then.
Radio check.
Radio check.
Yeah, definitely a two-stopper.
I know what you can do. Don't let me down.
Let's maybe see what a one-stopper may look like. And it's not even suggested that that's a possibility. So, yeah, two-stopper's going to be the way forward today, I think. I am thinking, though, that you probably want to start on mediums and then maybe hards in the middle stint. I'm thinking if you get in nice and early, then you can undercut your rivals. I think that's a good plan. Let's attack at the start and see how we get on. 29 laps here, so we'll put 1.7 extra Ks of fuel in there. Hope that there's a safety car at some point just to help us out on fuel, but other than that, let's get ourselves into it. And yeah, I'm starting to worry that our car's looking more like a Midland than a McLaren. But I don't know, maybe you guys like it. I'm still undecided on it, but we'll keep tweaking it until we get it right. I just think maybe this season it doesn't look like, it looks more fake, doesn't it, compared to the other guys. So we'll see.
No threat of rain for the time being. Conditions look good.
It looked good in the daylight, but under the lights it really does show up. How sort of grey it is and dull. So yeah, we'll see. But yeah, it's interesting. There's going to be a lot of different strategies out there. There could well be some three-stoppers. Definitely going to be some two-stoppers. Don't think we're going to see any one-stopper drivers today. So that's really interesting. But obviously the guys that are starting on the hards, those are the ones that we need to try and get past early on. Then get in, get onto the hard tyres, look after them, and we should get an almighty undercut. That's the plan anyway. You can see we're sort of dicing with Lewis here. So getting in his head of how we're going to be behaving on this first lap. Yeah, we've got Jensen Button behind us as well. Got to keep an eye on him because he's in a fast McLaren. I don't think Sainz is going to be an issue today. I don't think the Williams race pace is going to be quite as good as where they've qualified. George Russell, of course, coming through the field. He's going to be an issue for us. Antonelli is somebody that we can possibly get. But other than that, I think that the top 5, top 6, they're going to be off into the distance. So let's see what we can do today. We're definitely going to have to try and do it strategy-wise rather than through outright pace. So here we come, parking up for the second race of the season. I'm going to really angle it towards Hamilton. Yep.
Okay, good parking there, mate. Now we need to make sure we get a great launch as the race starts.
So we're aiming really for the side of Gasly at the start of this race.
Be ready with the clutch.
Here we go then, ready. And it's lights out. Away we go here in Bahrain. And that has worked absolutely perfectly. Just need to watch out for Pierre Gasly as we hurtle towards turn 1. We get hard on the brakes and we are through all the way up into 4th position. That couldn't have worked out any better for us, that start there. Absolutely perfect. Sail past Hamilton, sail past Antonelli, sail past Pierre Gasly, and now up into 4th position. Now these 3 were absolutely lightning quick in qualifying, so if we can somehow stay within their DRS, that is going to help us out massively. Luckily didn't get any sort of track extension warning there. A little bit of dirty air, but the 2 Red Bulls certainly seem to be the ones that are pushing hard at the moment, particularly Pierre Gasly. Max Verstappen trying to follow him. Lando Norris has just come a little bit clear of them. I wonder if they're both on the medium tyres, because Norris is certainly struggling in this early phase of the race to stay with those guys. So let's see if we can get Lando Norris through this final sector before we get into the realms of DRS. That would be pretty amazing. We've got Pierre Gasly just about hanging on to the back of us as well. But yeah, it does seem like it's the medium tyre runners that have got the pace at the moment. We've used pretty much all of our ERS, so just keep on the back of him. We've got Antonelli now having a look down the inside of Pierre Gasly. Yeah, they're battling it out, and that's absolutely fine. I'm not bothered about that. DRS open now on Norris. Top 2 definitely managing to pull away from us a little bit, but good start, P4. And that's exactly where we wanted to be. You know, we executed that start absolutely perfectly. Now it's about, can we stay with Lando Norris and almost get dragged along by him? It's going to massively help our race time if we can. Guy that's just behind us, he's managed to pull a good move on us straight away there, so well played, Pierre Gasly. Our tyres took a little bit of time to warm up, but now starting to look pretty good. Lando Norris has pulled away from us. As soon as we lost the DRS to him, we've then been at the mercy of the McLaren and Mercedes behind us, so just going to have to keep an eye on that, look after our ERS as much as we can and use that. We know we're coming in slightly early, so let's try and stay in a good place here. We're not really looking ahead today. We're not looking like we can compete with the Mercedes, but look at the Red Bull. I mean, that is unbelievable how far that they have pulled out the gap at the start of this race. They are already 6 seconds ahead of us, and there you go. There goes Pierre Gasly, but that was a bit of a tactical let pass there, because we should now have DRS.
They might make a mistake and we could still regain a position.
And that should help us out a little bit, but here comes Kimi Antonelli. He's got DRS. I'm not quite sure what's going on here. We seem to have just lost a little bit of pace here. Go around the outside of Kimi Antonelli. That's a good move. Gonna have DRS again here. Yeah, our pace seems to have dropped off a cliff here. I don't know if it's our tyres. I mean, our tyres are pretty worn already, which is worth bearing in mind for later on. Perhaps we don't want to go for an undercut on the second stint. Look after those hard tyres early on, try and make them go a little bit longer.
Tyre wear's higher than we're expecting. We've got a new strategy available on your MFD if you want
Let's
it.
see what he's suggesting here. He's suggesting push it back a lap. I disagree. You know, you look at how much the guys are sticking to us. We've got Button on soft tyres as well, so he's desperate to get past, but surely his tyres are going to be absolutely shot very, very shortly. But yeah, I mean, as a pack, we are pulling away from the Williams, which is good. There goes Antonelli through. And that's Jensen Button trying to get through as well. But yeah, we're just not quite.
We're approaching the pit window now, and you're going to be on hards next
There
time.
with our pace at the moment. Hamilton is desperately trying to get through. That's Jensen Button once again having a look on us, but we're doing okay. Still got a couple of laps until we come into the pit lane. Well, slight lock up there, and that is Button through now. There goes Hamilton, and he's timed that perfectly because he's going to get DRS as well here.
Okay, we're boxing this lap. Give us the best in lap you can.
But we want to try and just stay with him here. I think we will get DRS now. But yeah, we've got a good 3-second lead over Charles Leclerc. And Sainz is 5 seconds behind here. And these tyres are definitely falling off now. Interestingly, Buttons don't seem to have, but he was always good on his tyres, was our Jensen. So it wouldn't be that surprising if he's just managed to look after them a lot. Should get DRS again on Lewis here. Which again is just helping our pace a little bit. And then we'll turn the battery right down. I think we maybe used too much battery in those first couple of laps. We got a bit excited following Lando Norris, but you know, we're not that far behind that sort of battle, which is nice, and fingers crossed we can
Remember, box this lap. Keep an eye on your distance.
have a good pit stop here.
As you approach, and make sure you don't speed.
Make sure we're looking after the battery, charging it up as we head into the pit lane for our first stop. And of course, we are going to have quite the undercut here. So here we go into the pit lane. That was good slow down into the box, and it would be nice if we came out just ahead of Victor Martins. It would be very nice.
Right, let's go. Come
We're
on.
away.
That was a fantastic stop, faster than we were expecting. All right, we'll be doing one more.
This
stop
looks pretty
today.
good.
One
So we've
stop
ended
left
up
in this strategy.
popping into just a little gap between some traffic that allows us to bring our tyres in nicely. But yeah, this should be a good undercut opportunity because those guys are not going to be coming in for another 8 lap. We get off that same strategy now and just focus on our own race pace, not having to push hard to stay within DRS and that sort of thing. We can hopefully really improve our race time through here. Obviously, we're going to have to make our way through the traffic quickly and efficiently as well. Got right up to Esteban Ocon here. Really important that we get past him. He pulls to the inside, but we had the outside line there and managed to get past him.
Tyre condition still looking good.
That's good. The amount of dirty air in these corners is tough to deal with. Car's clearly not coping with dirty air very well. Yeah, little switcheroo here. Yeah, that's pretty good. Good move there on Paul Aaron. And now Zane Maloney is next. Should be able to get past him fairly easily. And got a nice little distance to Gabriel Bortoletto after that. I want to try and just hold back here. Might as well charge up the ERS while we're just behind Zane Maloney. And now this is the opportunity to get DRS on him. Should be able to pass him quite easily. And here we go, we are through very easily. And Now back up into 13th. And now we set our sights on getting back in towards the top 10. The race, he has just had an engine failure, I think. Doesn't look like they're going to bring out any sort of safety car for that, or red flag. He has managed to pull over in a safe position, so that hasn't destroyed our strategy, but it does help our race position.
The track is clear, green flag.
Because he is who we were battling as we came into the pits. So passing Albon now. That's Jenson Button, I think. That's just come out ahead. He's gone on softs again. So he must be on a 3-stopper, because I don't think he's going to be able to pit one more time and then take hards to the end. I don't think that's possible. So yeah, he's going for the super fast strategy. But didn't actually undercut him by much there, did we, Jenson Button, considering he's on very old soft tyres. We should have been much quicker than him, but
charge is high. Let's use that overtake button a bit more.
Yeah, sort of getting back into the swing of things now. We've looked after our tyres quite well, I think, in these first 4 laps of having them on, so let's keep pushing. We can slip it up into hot lap mode now, and now that the tyres are up to temperature, we should be able to give it a little bit more. As Max Verstappen just puts in fastest lap of the race on those old mediums, or they're new mediums, maybe they are.
George is coming in for his stop.
Right, George Russell into the pits, so him and Leclerc, they were about 3 seconds behind us before we came into the pits, so this will be an interesting sight line of where we are compared to where we were before. So we're still coming out well ahead of those guys. And as I said, I just think that the top 6 are way too quick for us today. Yeah, we've made a good couple of seconds on Charles Leclerc. He's gone on to mediums again, so well, he's got his hard tyre stint out of the way, but I think the hards were behaving slightly better than the mediums in that first stint, so I think that's interesting. But we've got Gabriel Bortoletto in front of us now, so it's really starting to pick up the pace, aren't we, which is nice to see. But Russell, he's battling Leclerc, so good chance to get some more points there. Yeah, should be able to get past Gabby pretty quickly here with the DRS, but he just had better traction, and well, he does try and defend the inside. Luckily, we just had so much more grip, we were able to get through, so back up to 7th in this race, and I think that's about the best we can finish today. He joined me on lap 15, and it hasn't really taken Charles Leclerc long at all to catch up to us. He is within a second now, and I think he will pass us very, very quickly. Our race pace just doesn't seem to be quite there today, and I'm not entirely sure why. I mean, maybe it's the setup, but qualifying wise we were okay, and certainly in practice we were very consistent with our times, but yeah, I mean, we've been losing a couple of seconds a lap to Charles Leclerc, and it won't be long before Russell's through as well.
No need to worry about the tyre condition for now. Everything's looking good. Okay, gap ahead.
It's just a strange phenomenon, really.
2.1 seconds.
But once again, we're going to hold DRS to Charles Leclerc here as we get our first corner cutting warning of the race. I was too busy looking at the gap to Russell. But I mean, you can see how much quicker we are than Carlos Sainz, but yeah, it's tough out there. I guess on the last stint on those mediums we might find a bit of pace, but it's not looking likely at the moment. And once Once again, staying within DRS of Leclerc, that is going to massively help, isn't it? But he's probably going to find a lot of time through this final sector compared to us, you would have thought, but maybe not. Maybe his tyres are starting to go off now as well. He's pushed quite hard to catch up to us. We can stay within DRS, that would massively aid our stint. Looks like we're going to have DRS here, but I don't think we'll have it for the next straight, because I think even with DRS, Leclerc is going to have more straight line speed. It's going to be very close. Very close indeed. We do have it, wow. But that's going to be our last bout of DRS for a little bit. But I think it was beneficial to just push that a little bit harder. We've only got 2 more laps on these tyres. That's what we have to remember. 2 more laps and then we come into the pits. Okay, so we're going to be coming into the pits at the end of this lap. Very interestingly, George Russell's not really closed in on us over these last few laps. So I think that is just showing the pace differential between our car and you know, the cars that we're competing with in front, like Ferrari and McLaren, Red Bull and Mercedes. They are just a step ahead of us, and you know, we are going to struggle, certainly in this early part of the season, to make any inroads on that. We've got a decent gap between this race and the next one. I think the next one is after a season break. Is it Spain after this one, or is it, or maybe we have got Japan in there? I can't quite remember, but either which way, you know, we are going to have some time to spend developing the car and getting some upgrades on it, because we badly need it.
Box, box, box.
So we're going to be coming into the pits this lap. You can see that wasn't even the best lap, and we were able to keep a consistent gap to George Russell, our teammate, and again perfectly down to speed. So Jenson Button gets on his way. There's a pit stop ahead of us now, which is pretty crazy, isn't it?
Okay, off we go. Back into
brand
the race.
new
Perfect job on the
medium tyres on the
Looks like
car.
a nice stop time. We're happy with that one. Pit strategy complete.
We are
these
away
tyres through to the end
and
now.
into a lovely little gap ahead of Jack Doohan in 10th place. So it's worked out quite well in the end. And now we've just got 10 laps on these medium tyres to get the best out of it that we can, I guess. But it's going to be very, very tricky.
We've got a lot of spare energy. Okay to use your overtake button.
Russell in. It's leaving the pit lane now. But there you go. He's on soft tyres, which is interesting, whereas Leclerc has gone for mediums. So Russell just 2.2 behind us, not bad.
The mediums. Car ahead now running medium tyres.
Yeah, now we're virtually on the same age of tyres as Charles Leclerc, so it'll be interesting to see if we can stay a bit closer to him this time.
Gap
But
to the car ahead, 2.3 seconds.
sort of guessing we're not going to be honest, but we'll see. Well, we have a little bit of an issue here, that our fuel has gone negative, so I'm not really sure how that's happened. We had, you know, nearly 2 extra laps of fuel in the car. Obviously, we didn't have that safety car period that we thought we might end up with. But, yeah, it's not great. George Russell is right behind us, and it's whether we just let him go at this early stage of the season. You know, not battling, although, to be fair, Jack doing 35 seconds behind us. I'm not sure he's going to catch us up either way. But we are going to have to do some serious lifting and coasting on these last few laps to make sure we make it to the end. But I don't think we're going to be able to get it back under control here. But yeah, George Russell surely is going to make it past us here. There he goes, and yeah, I think that now means we're just going to hold back at this point. We will have DRS here, but yeah, just let George Russell go and get 8th place here. And we're going to try and nurse the car back with plenty of fuel. I think we've just about done enough management that we should now make it to the end on this fuel load. But Max Verstappen has won an excellent Grand Prix for Red Bull. Looks like Pierre Gasly has finished a brilliant 3rd. Button may well be finishing 4th. Or was it Lando Norris that finished 3rd, actually? It might have been Lando Norris. Yeah, Norris finished 3rd, then Pierre Gasly, then Button, then Antonelli, Leclerc. Russell's going to come round and he's going to finish in 8th place. We're going to come round and, well, despite almost running out of fuel, we just about make it over the line before that low fuel mode kicked in.
Good work anyways.
P9, 2 points there.
What is that? 2 points?
Very good.
It's another victory and a champion's performance from Max Verstappen.
Well, a brilliant race for them today, Crofty, as you can clearly see out there. They were really at one with the car. And as a driver, you take comfort from the fact that you can win in a new set of regulations. And moving forward, you're going to see that confidence rise more and more. Brilliant stuff today by them.
And once all the hard work is over, and after lap of brilliant racing, it's time now to celebrate with our podium trio. And for those that have missed the Dutch national anthem, fear not. It's back again, because Max Verstappen is back on the top step.
Well, absolutely
Well, what an end
brilliant.
to another fantastic weekend of racing. Thanks to everyone who joined us, and we'll see you for the next one.
To be fair, Lando Norris getting into the top 2 did well in the end. You know, considering how far the Red Bulls were ahead after the first stint. Piastri finishes 3rd ahead of Gasly in 4th. Button's attacking strategy definitely helped, and he managed to get Antonelli just before the end of the race. Leclerc finishes in 7th, Russell 8th, we finished 9th, and Jack doing into the top 10. And that all means that Max Verstappen leads the championship. Charles Leclerc drops down to 2nd, Norris and Piastri equal 3rd, Jenson Button up to 5th with that performance, ahead of his teammate Pierre Gasly, and Lewis Hamilton is just ahead of us two in 9th and 10th. Looking at the constructors, we're currently 5th. That's obviously where we finished last season. Early signs are that we're probably not going to be able to improve on that position, but we'll have a little look at what we can do going forward. But at least we maximised what we could do today, getting into that top 10 and getting some points on the board. I think that was really, really important. Got a little bit of extra fan rating, which is good. But yeah, you know, it is going to be a toughie. We're going to have to make sure that we're on it with our development this season and trying to push as hard as we can on that front. I'll have a quick look here.
Unfortunately, it looks like a part we were developing has failed. I'm sorry to say we will need to revisit the development area and redevelop it. Sorry, Chief.
So another solid weekend in terms of points. Have a quick little look at development. Yeah, that's where the real struggle has been. You know, if you look at the progress history, we are kind of in a world of our own, aren't we? You know, certainly Russell's car is a decent way behind Hülkenberg's car. And we're kind of on the same performance level as Williams, but we finished well ahead of them today. So, you know, it's no wonder how quick Ferrari, McLaren, Red Bull and Mercedes were compared to us. Yeah, just gonna have to make sure that we're doing a lot better. But we can have a quick look at research before we finish off. I think definitely somewhere in the chassis is going to be good. If we can afford things, we can afford. Oh, well, we can't actually, and that's another big problem, isn't it? Is that a lot of the stuff is very, very expensive. Yeah, that's a pretty good one. What does that do? Better efficiency, meaning more downforce without additional drag. That's going to be very, very key, I think. So we'll get that researched. I don't think there'll be anything else we can afford at this stage. It's just one of them things, isn't it? We're going to have to keep pushing with that. But yeah, hopefully you've enjoyed all of that. If you have, then give it a big thumbs up down below. Subscribe for plenty more F1 content. And I hope you guys are having a wonderful day. Thanks for watching, and goodbye.